What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of AI Buzz, coming back at you with more artificial intelligence and machine learning related stories. My name is Nick. What are we going to talk about? Today, we're going to talk about how AI could be coming for your job. Stay tuned. Let's get started. As artificial intelligence becomes more widespread and advanced, there's a concurrent discussion about how the technology is going to fit within the labor market. Some, such as commercial truck drivers, say that the technology is going to eliminate their jobs. Others, such as creatives and academics, state that they're still going to be relevant in coming years. In this review, I'm going to discuss the jobs that are and are not safe from AI. One of the most famous computer scientists right now in the realm of artificial intelligence is Kai-Fu Lee. He recently wrote a book about how China is the leading superpower in AI. He is very popular in the media, and he recently wrote a piece in Time discussing the different challenges that AI is going to present to the labor market. States that there's certain categories of AI that are not going to be touched in the labor markets. Among them are positions that require creative work, political positions, caretaking jobs, as well as jobs that will be created as a result of AI to coordinate and maintain the AI infrastructure. Jobs that require true creativity will not be outsourced by AI, says Lee. He says in the Time article that AI cannot invent. However, I'll show some examples below that might prove that wrong. Perhaps what he means is, will humans be interested in the creative work of an AI? And I believe that answer to that is yes, based on this tweet from Christie's Auction House, where a neural network generated art piece sold for $432,000. The public is interested in art that is generated by AI. This artwork was generated by a neural network after studying thousands of other art pieces and was able to create a version of its own. Time will tell how much of the human element AI can really create. I'm tempted to argue that artificial intelligence could create better policies because it would be able to pull in data from diverse data sources and be able to assimilate that and use all of that data as a full picture to make decisions. Artificial intelligence would also not be tempted to make decisions based on re-election probabilities or outside financial, political money. Political positions will likely remain in control of humans due to the public's fear of the AI creating policies to eliminate us. A study by the Center for Governance of Change studied people from 8 countries, how they felt about AI taking over policymaking, and almost half of the people from these countries believed that AI should not oversee policy creation. Caretaking jobs will not be taken over by an AI. People relate to people. An AI, no matter how advanced and human-like it might seem, it lacks human emotions. Caretaking jobs these days, such as daycare instructors or nurses, will always be human occupations. One of the best things that's going to happen about AI taking certain jobs is that it's going to spawn completely different jobs that are more focused on actually maintaining and updating and upgrading the AI infrastructure that is needed. There's going to be hundreds of thousands of new jobs created, experts say, such as ethical AI investigator, so someone who looks at a company's AI model and evaluates if it has bias in it or not, as well as man-machine project managers. Very cool stuff. So I discussed what types of jobs are safe from AI. Well then, what's not a safe job? Well, unfortunately, the answer is pretty much everything else. Given enough time, almost every category of job is going to be rendered obsolete, say a lot of experts. Policies in place, jobs can be maintained by humans, though AI will be able to advance so quickly that it'll develop the know-how and know the ways in which to execute those jobs. I'm going to discuss 3 cases below where artificial intelligence is already making big splashes in human occupations. Companies like Shazam use machine learning to find similarities between the track you're trying to identify and their library of millions of songs. One of the updates this year from OpenAI won't exactly assist humans in identifying songs. They'll compose completely new ones. OpenAI released MuseNet, which can synthesize completely new songs after processing songs in that style. It's going to rely on a transformer model, and it can predict the next note in a sequence of notes. The model can create 15 different styles, such as classical or contemporary. What is crazy with most deep learning models is that these models don't understand music in the same way that humans do. They're purely analyzing the waveforms of these songs, and they search for patterns of different rhythm and styles between the songs. And these models, they're good enough where these creations do not stick out. I think in many cases, if you were to show a non-expert some of these generated songs, they would not be able to tell this difference. Gap between the generated pieces and the authentic pieces is going to continue to close. Curious to see how society continues to accept AI-generated work. Masks are concepts in photo editing software that allows selecting a very tight outline around an object and then extracting that object to be used as part of a multi-layered stacked image. The company Topaz has released Mask AI, and they use computer vision to be able to create masks from objects in photographs. The underlying technology uses a 3-level approach in order to build the masks. There is an automatic mask that the user can apply, which will automatically identify the main object in the photographs. The next level is going to be manually tuning those regions. So there's a broad brush option where the user can include additional pieces from the main object that the auto mask did not detect. And then lastly, there's a fine brush option that will be used to optimize the regions where you want Mask AI to work in. Pushing the button compute on the software allows the model to go to work, and it does a fantastic job of extracting the main subject of photos from high noise backgrounds. There's a great YouTube video from the YouTuber Ryan Mentz. Shows the program in action using 3 different photos of birds from different complexity backgrounds. Mask AI did a very comparable job to Photoshop in creating the masks. Creators behind Mask AI believe exactly that. They believe it can do as good as Photoshop with less work required by the human. After the mask gets created by Mask AI software, there's many additional tools that can be applied to the images, such as softness adjustment. It's typically pretty much a photo editing software, and it has the Mask AI part on top of it. Automating mask creation takes away a large part of a graphic designer's job, and there's worries that this field could really be hit hard with the increasing spread of AI. In the United Kingdom, AI is starting to be used during job interviews with the company HireVue. The goal of the software that HireVue creates is to track candidates' faces during the interview process and detect expressions, language nuances, and tone. The CTO of the company HireVue states that there's approximately 350 features that are looked at in the software, so things like word choice or sentence length. Software can also look at tone, so parameters such as speed indicate whether a candidate would be good at sales or customer service. The software does raise some ethical questions, however, where there could foreseeably be a bias against gender or those with disabilities. Furthermore, people really do not like this software. There's a civil rights group in Seattle that's filing a federal complaint against HireVue. The group claims that since the models that they develop are private, people don't know how their biometric data is being used by the company, so that they can't properly consent to that data use. However, as the application and openness of these algorithms gets ironed out so that it's ensured that no bias is leaking into the model, no discrimination is present, models could actually be our best bet for not discriminating during interviews and choosing solely based on qualifications for the position. Artificial intelligence impresses us more each day. As it becomes more advanced, it will begin to displace jobs. That's just a fact. Experts are claiming that jobs that are displaced will transition to a different set of jobs. It's going to be centered mainly around facilitating and maintaining these AI systems. One thing is certain, however, it's going to be really fascinating to see how humans are going to integrate with AI. Well, that's about all for me. Thanks so much for tuning in today to this episode of AI Buzz. I'm going to be back very, very soon with more machine learning and artificial intelligence stories. If you like this content, please drop a subscribe in the box below, and I'll be back with you very, very soon. My name is Nick. Have a great day. Bye.